Okay, can everybody hear me okay and see me okay? Just want to do a quick video sound check. Okay, good stuff. Okay, guys, so we're having a few technical difficulties today, as you may or may not have seen. We're sorry about this. Unfortunately, some recent changes in the way we connect to YouTube have happened. So unfortunately, the video, whether we like it or not, is going to cut off at the 20-minute mark. So I'm going to try to keep this as quick as I can and as possibly much as we can get crammed up into this 20-minute session. So just briefly, the following video clips demonstrations are for educational instruction purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. Joe, good to see you. Jose, thanks for confirming that. Everybody, if you want to type something in the chat, please feel free. Just a brief thing that I want to say here. Please do visit the tradewithufos.com/Boyan. It's a very interactive website that we've developed, and then there's a good chance there's an answer to any of the questions you have on there. Without much further ado, let's go ahead and open up TradeStation. Just gonna quickly open up our climates window. Today we are doing intraday short-term trading, so we're gonna look at the climates on the short-term setup. Luis, Tony, good to see you guys. I'm seeing some flickering on the screen and I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm seeing it on my end. I don't know if you guys see it on your end as well. If you do see it, please let me know. But unfortunately, like I said, today we're having some technical difficulties. It's not business as usual, but we'll try to make do with what we can. Let me know if you guys are seeing some of this flickering on the stream that I'm seeing on my end. You see it too, okay? All right, well, hopefully that doesn't drive you too crazy, or you know, we'll make do with what we can. So as you know, this is our climate window. This is what we use to check for any upcoming trades for futures. Or even Forex if you're utilizing Forex. In this session, we're going to be looking at futures. Okay, yep, thank you for confirming that. Michael, good to see you too. All right, so as you see, you know, the few things that we do look at, and you know, this is a very permission-based system that we utilize. We're looking for a near sensible short or long in a confirmed climate, meaning this color is correct here. With the near sensible long, and this color, the red one right here, is correct with the near sensible short. So let's go ahead and open up YM and EC on the 60-minute time frame. Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm not quite sure what happened here. I mean, I got a pretty solid machine here that I'm utilizing. So something definitely happened. We're gonna look into this, make sure this does not happen again. We'll definitely get a hold of this before we start the next session. Again, this had more to do with YouTube than it had to do with us on our end, but we'll make it happen. Please, you know, fret not, fret not. And you know what it is? Sometimes in trading, you're gonna encounter this. It's not something uncommon, right? You could have the best machine at your disposal, and sometimes things are just not going to work properly, and you gotta decide for yourself and say, hey, listen, I'm having technical difficulties today. I'm just not going to trade because I don't want to expose myself to additional openings for errors or additional issues that I may have that are going to cause problems. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and make this work as best as we can. So first one that we're going to look at is the Dow Jones here. We're looking at the 8-minute with the 987 share bar with a 610 tick bar. We're looking at it on the 60-minute time frame. We're seeing that we have two confirmed climates on the 60. Price is actually very close to a potential entry. Naturally, this UFO being here, the 102 being the entry point here, and just looking at this over, both of these will actually work. Obviously, this will be a 63 tick stop on the Dow Jones, so this might not be something. It is, this might not be something that is very low risk, but it certainly meets the parameters. And given that this is a larger time frame, obviously we're expected to trade it with a bit of a more of a looser leash, let's call it. So as you see right now, this I'm just going to freeze this. Moving average is at 38.80, which is about here. So this does meet the criteria to enter this trade. But before we do that, something we always need to look at is where will our final target be? And the way we do that is we pop open the time frame that we're using to utilize the climate on and open up the auto UFOs, and I'm not seeing, okay, way down there. Okay, so this has more than enough breathing room, right? So this starts at 28,643. So 28,643 way down there. There it is. So that's our final target. This is already kind of starting to move away. So the way we set this up, we're going to set it up right here at the bottom of this UFO, which is 3082. So we're going to go short at 3082. Okay, and as I said, obviously, this implies quite a bit of risk in this scenario, given the fact that our stop needs to be above the top of this UFO and this UFO, which they do coincide. Okay, so if you if you're not okay with taking that, definitely take this on a on the micros, which is 1/10 of the risk. So you can definitely take this on the micros themselves, and at the same time you're obviously you're minimizing your upside, but you're also minimizing your downside should this trade go against you. So we're going to go ahead and move this all the way up here to 3166, a tick above these two UFOs here. Now we're going to have to figure out where our T1 will be, our stop. So 3166 minus 30,082, that's 84 ticks. All right, 30,082, that's going to be at 29.98. Just going to edit this like this. So 29,998. We're going to replace that order. All right, and as we said, our final target is way down there at 28,643. And go ahead and replace that. Okay, so this is what we know. This is what we call, this trade is now framed out. We can spend a little bit talking about it. But in the meantime, because, this already kind of moved away from us, it would have been nice if we got on board on this. Look at this. I mean, this stuff happens, when it happens, it's beautiful. But look at this, a few ticks into the UFO, and we're already having some movement down. Obviously, in this scenario, we would expect this price to keep going down. But just in case it actually retests it, just in case something like, it were to come out here and then push down, maybe test it again, and then push down to our T1, is something that I would like to see. That means that the sellers were still in control. There were still sellers left in this area. And then now we're in this trade, for example, if it fills, and then it goes down and shoots right into our T1, which means, we'd be risk off. Obviously, we're not on board in this trade, and it's already moved, close to 32 ticks right now. Would have been nice if we caught this a little bit earlier. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't have caught this penetration here because we would still be introducing the session. But, essentially at about 20 minutes ago, this would have been a proper setup. This UFO would have been here, and we would have been okay to take it. All right. With the 8-minute micros Joe, you're essentially minimizing the amount of risk, right? So, for example, on this trade, and the easy way to demonstrate this, and I'll just do it here with Trading View. Okay, would be the following. For example, this really does depend based on your account and your account size and your risk tolerance and everything. But for example, I personally don't usually, especially for these day trades, I don't like risking more than $300, right? And on two contracts, I'm risking quite a bit more than $200 here. So let me just open this up right here so I can show you what I mean. All right, I gotta read this again every time. Sorry about that. Because the micros are actually Google Authenticator. Jeez. Well, I guess I won't be able to demonstrate it that way. So I'm going to have to do it by math. So as of right now, on this trade, we're risking, I think it was 82, was it 80? No, 84 ticks, right? That's what it was. 3166 minus 30,082, 84 ticks. Times $5 a piece, that's $420, right? $420 per contract. Obviously, 420 times 2, right? We're looking at $840 that we're risking for this trade, right? So to have the capability to risk $840 per trade, and let's say you were at a risk profile where you go, you say, you know what, I'm not going to risk more than 2% of my account, or let's say you're a bit more aggressive. I'm just going to do this right here. Did not want to maximize that, right? So, if you're risking, let's say you have $30,000 in your account and you're only risking, 3%, okay, that's when you can essentially take this trade, right? So that's what I'm trying to show here and explain, is that, you would need a $30,000 account to effectively risk 3% per trade, okay? If you have it and you're okay with it, that's fine, that's great, you can go for it. This is a valid trade. But if your account is, let's say, only $10,000, right, and you're risking $900 on the trade, right, 840, let's just round it off to 900, that's 9% of your account, okay? You get 3 of those wrong in a day, you're down, in the upper double digits, right? You're down, over 20% in one day. So blowing up 20% in one day can effectively decimate you psychologically, right? I mean, maybe you have the mental fortitude to withstand a 25, 30% down day. I certainly don't, right? I'll tell you this, if I'm down 10%, as much as I love trading, I stop for the day and I refocus, and maybe even takes a bit of time off. Whereas with the micro, right? With the micro, you'd be risking $84, right? A tenth of what you're risking with the mini. So that is the reason why I'm saying, hey, this might be a trade that you should take with the micros, because taking it with the minis, you need a substantial account. You need the mental fortitude to be able to withstand a hit of $840, and let's say it slips, rounded off to 900. Right, so that's something that you need to realize. Okay, is it all set, Joe? You follow what I'm saying? Well, I think I see the confusion here. So it's basically the 8-minute micro is this. You'll be utilizing the 8-minute time frame for the micro or the mini, right? That's just a time frame. I'm just talking about the difference between the mini contract and the micro contract. As far as the time frame, that is actually more concerned into how you do your analysis, right? Right now we're doing an analysis on the 60-minute time frame, which corresponds with the 8-minute, the 987 share bar, and the 610 tick bar. And if you want to take a look at these, I actually answered this question on the tradewithufos.com/Boyan website, where I did post how we came, the time frames that we are and what they are for each one of these instruments that we're trading. Okay, so please check that out. In the meantime, because as I said, we're running really short on time, I'm gonna go ahead and load at ECZ20 here. I'm gonna load the proper chart for this symbol here, which is the Euro contract on the December, right? ECZ20. And as you see, this again, 60-minute corresponds with the 8-minute. Okay. Looking at the current price, so we're at 1.21385. Moving average is at 21,311. 21,311 is about here somewhere. Right. So about there. This UFO will most likely actually work. Oops, sorry, I meant to to do that. So this UFO will most likely work, because what happens is, you know, as price moves down, the moving average actually is going to move down with it. So what we're expecting to happen is to basically have a meet somewhere within this UFO at 21,285, 295 to 21,265. All right. So anticipating that that will work, we're going to go ahead and frame this trade out as well. All right. So looking at that, I just want to see something here, because the bottom of this UFO is 265. The top of this UFO is 21,260. So that is quite literally one tick. So you could essentially take this trade. I typically like to give the currencies 2 ticks. So that would be within this UFO, right? 2 ticks would be at 21,255, which is not something that we want to do. We don't want to have our stops within the UFOs that are helping us push price up. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on this, because, you know, if you were to take it up here with the stop, it would actually be close to there, which is again within this, on top of this UFO. So you would have to move it way down here. And that's just, you know, the risk to reward here is just, it's not going to be there. The safety factor is not going to be there. We're going to go ahead and pass on this trade. All right, I'm going to save it. Let's take a look at our Dow Jones. So again, it was teasing a little bit. It came as far as the high was 76. So it came within 6 ticks of filling us. So we're going to see, you know, and guys, it says here, I started streaming 17 minutes ago. Unfortunately, we only have 3 minutes to go. And again, this is, you know, we usually like running over, not under the amount of time that we want to spend on these streams. Unfortunately, like I said, we're having some technical difficulties, but we're working through them. Obviously, nobody's perfect. So we, fortunately for us, we actually did find the trade in that short span period time that we got to spend. If there's any questions on this trade or anything, you know, please feel free to type it. If not, as I said before, please go to the tradewithufos.com/Boyan link that I shared earlier. Send your questions there. I don't know if Helen is with us, but I do owe her an email back, which I thought I replied to until she sent a follow-up email. So I'm going to get to that as soon as we end the session today. I'm not seeing too many any questions in the chat, guys. If there's any questions, you know, please feel free to share them. I'll only have so much time left to answer them. Other than that, you know, we do have a trade that we set up here, and that's really that. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Again, we're seeing a bit of a push up again. Milan, good to see you as well. So I think we're looking okay, guys. Yeah, just go ahead and send an email, and there it is. Yep, if you have any questions, the link is right there. Guys, thank you very much again. And again, I'm very sorry for these technical issues that we're having. This is the end of the session for now. Please feel free to again subscribe, click like the video, subscribe, hit the little bell icon next to the subscription so you get notifications every time we go live. The schedule is also posted on the tradewithufos.com website on the top left corner. You should be able to get it to integrate with your calendar, so that way you get notifications in your calendar as well. All right, that being said, take care, everybody. It was a pleasure sharing these 20 minutes with you. Once we get the stream stabilized, we'll get things working properly. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.